This week on Addicted to the Outdoors.
So it's that time of year again for our annual Browning turkey hunt.
So after a full day of nothing, I have a mental breakdown.
Day 763. I have not seen a longbeard. I have not heard a longbeard. My mental state is fragile.
Mr. Brunson is smiling and he's telling me all the way across the field, and I got your slam dunk. I'm gonna put you where I was this morning.
Watched him make his way down the fence line. And man, it just couldn't have worked out any better.
Addicted to the Outdoors with Tuff, Raven, and Gunner.
Hey, don't forget about us.
And John and Gina Brunson. A new addiction starts now.
So it's that time of year again for our annual Browning turkey hunt. So every year we have Tom and Brent from Browning come down and we get them their Osceolas. Well, this year it's gonna be a little different because Brent is stuck at home. This year it's gonna be just old Tom.
Well, it's that time of year again, the annual trip down to see the Brunsons, and we're gonna kick it off this year with a trip out to Ross Hammock Ranch where we're gonna do a little turkey hunt. Unfortunately, Brent is unable to make it because his spring break didn't line up quite right this year. And as we all know, family comes first, especially when the Brunsons are involved.
After a quick drive, Tom and I arrive at Ross Hammock Ranch. We get unpacked, we reminisce, looking at some old pictures.
I always love looking at those pictures when we come to Ross Hammock. We were all so young.
And next, I'm out front checking my obsession bow to make sure nothing got bumped on the ride. I'm thinking dead bird.
You don't have a limp.
So after checking my obsession bow, it was time to head in and tear up some grub and also catch it with the crew. And we were greeted by a surprise guest, Johnny, which we thought had retired.
Guy. Man, he did get here. He had me stressing. He had me stressing. He's like, Johnny's gone.
He swore you last year. You were like,
I'm like, he's not gonna retire.
I'm done.
He had me talk. He had me believe me.
I had two people that was against me. My wife and HR.
You're gonna lose that fight every time.
I'm always confident here at Ross Hammock Ranch, but after Johnny pulled out his phone
They come across that fence. It's rare to get them across
there's
that
my
fence.
brother.
and showed us several videos of some big toms, I knew this trip was gonna be a blast.
I could make him gobble when I wanted to. I mean, yeah, he'd gobble.
Crossing that fence, man.
Well, after looking at the videos and getting all fired up, it was time to hit the sack because we were gonna have an early morning the next day.
Well, the long-awaited day has arrived, and here we are, day one, headed off to the woods. And first things first, we have to stop by the donut shop because that's become an annual tradition that I love.
The old donut shop, man. Get our lucky donuts. Go out, hammer a tom.
I was gonna say,
Oh yes.
Seems like yesterday.
I know, right?
Yeah, we gotta have our donuts, man.
Man, why can't every hunt start out with a trip to a donut shop? Now that's what I call a tradition.
One of the cool things about this trip is not only do we get to come down and do a little turkey hunting with our friends, but we've also been able to see the Brunson children grow up. And we've been hunting with Trace for about that same amount of time, and it's been really neat watching that young man grow up in the woods with us, and now he's about to head off to college. What's up, dude? How you? Doing all right?
I like the mullet, man.
I like
Bring
it.
the mullet back, bud. Hey, business in the front, party in the back. You don't like that?
Yeah, baby.
Bringing back the 80s, I love it.
With the Good Luck Donuts secured, we head over to the ranch where Ron unveils his newest toy.
Dirty Dave. I hadn't got to rename it yet, so for right now it's Dirty Dave.
Full stomach, ready for a nap.
Right on time.
I'd be scared to go hunting without going to the donut shop first.
That's our tradition.
I know.
See if I get my first one down with my new obsession bow.
That'd be cool.
All right, well, let's go get after it.
All right, sounds good.
Get it done, especially with this weather coming. Hopefully we can rock and roll this morning.
Got the day started off in a perfect way, but it went downhill from there. The weather did not cooperate.
For those of you who don't have any experience hunting Osceola turkeys, it's supposedly one of the toughest breeds of turkeys to hunt.
It was a bit of a rough start for Tom on this trip. The only thing they saw that first day was one single hen. Man, that's rough.
So it's been like incredibly slow.
You think?
Yeah, the lightning is starting to pop.
That's what, like the rain, we could maybe figure out.
Well, if we weren't sitting under the tallest roosting trees in the whole country, the lightning might not be so bad, but.
So obviously you can imagine I got depressed. I started to beat myself up. Should I have done things differently?
Well, I know Tom and Ron had an extremely slow first day, but we know the birds are there. Trace and I heard them all day long. So there's not much else to do but refuel on some grub and get back after it the next day.
We get up and Trace and I decide we're gonna sit all day.
All right, what's the plan?
Death row and wait.
Death row and wait. I always regret it when I don't go to death row, and you and John saw, what, 6 there yesterday?
5 or 6, yes sir. A couple hens. Some just slipped right up on us. Would have been perfect if we'd had a shotgun.
I love how fired up Tom is this morning, but that good mood is about to be tested.
There's my favorite person to talk to. Do you mind driving my truck back here where we normally park to go to the second food block? F250s don't pull that well in the mud. And, well, we spun.
No, we were already spinning. Did you? Boy, stop. Why can't?
Well, that's not how you want to start your hunt out. We need more donuts.
So we get out and it rains and we see a few wet hens, and that's depressing enough as it is. If anybody out there thinks I'm exaggerating about how bad the weather was on day 2, Mr. John Brunson informed us that his strategy was gonna be stalking a little shut-eye and hugging up on that pillow for a full day. So after a full day of nothing and a second day of wet rats walking by me, I have a mental breakdown that maybe or maybe not will influence the rest of my hunt.
Day 763. I have not seen a longbeard. I have not heard a longbeard. My mental state is fragile. We're gonna hang in there. I think it rained 12 feet today. Right now they are not cooperating. Maybe our luck will change. But my luck really doesn't change much when I'm turkey hunting. So here we are.
So unfortunately, Tom's mental state continued to deteriorate. And that was really the story for day 2. Wet, rainy, and not a gobbler in sight. So now we're down to our last day. But thankfully, the weather looks like it's gonna give us a break.
All right, so this morning, we finally get wonderful weather.
The thing that matters is getting Tom a bird. That's the only thing that matters.
Getting Tom a tom.
Where we think the absolute best spot to try and get one down is where he needs to be.
What my gut feeling right now is the fence that runs beside what I call the third food plot. You and Trace take that north, and we'll take from that fence line south.
South, yeah.
Do it, let's do it.
Well, here we are, day 3, and it feels more like day 1, honestly, because the weather has finally broke. We get to experience a beautiful sunrise. We hear birds on the roost.
He's on the other side of the fence, straight east of death row.
We actually see 3 longbeards. It's the first 3 I've seen all week, but they're like at 250 yards. They're on the other side of the food plot, and they just aren't responsive. They're not even lifting their heads when we call.
So day 3, Trace and I decided to sit in a spot we've sat in a million times before. It's usually a very productive area, but all in all, it was a really quiet morning. So as we started brainstorming, trying to figure out, what can we do, we decided mid-morning to make a move. Trace had been getting pictures of these 2 toms on this food plot back in the swamp.
It's been super quiet here this morning. I mean, we know it's a good spot, but we're just not hearing birds.
So we figured for the second half of our morning hunt, we'd try and sneak out there, slip into the backside of that hammock, set up, and hopefully catch those birds on the food plot.
We were kind of in a pinch point between 2 ponds where they'd have to walk by us. But we got set up and they came within shotgun range, just wasn't close enough or on the right side of the tree to get it done with a bow. So this afternoon we're hoping they can go back in there and get on them with a shotgun.
And so when we decided to back out for lunch that morning, Mr. Brunson is smiling and he's telling me all the way across the field, hey buddy, I got your slam dunk. I'm gonna put you where I was this morning because I've seen some things that you're gonna like to see this afternoon.
It's a slam dunker. They flew us, so coming around the dry spot, they kind of flew over a little wet spot and went up. But they're totally comfortable. There's 2 toms, like 5 or 6 hens. And so we just watched them, 40 yards, 50 yards. So Ron and Tom head back into the spot where we had hunted that morning and saw those toms, and me and Trace decided to head to a new spot overlooking a field.
So we get set up in this really thick place, and I was a little concerned about whether or not we were going to be able to get the birds on camera because it was so thick. I tell you, everything just worked out perfectly. Birds came in, we saw some hens first, and they wanted to cross the water, and they were trying to figure out what they wanted to do, and they'd come down to the water's edge and they would look across. They didn't want to wade. Tom, was calling a little bit, I was calling a little bit, and the hens were just they were a little bit spooked. They didn't like the water, they didn't like the situation, and Tom was trying to calm them down, and he did something that I've done a few times, and it's really a great tool in a situation like that to use. He started the leaf scratching, just like an old hen in the woods would do from time to time while they're feeding. And it really calmed those hens down, gave the gobbler a chance to come into view.
Unbelievable.
Like I said, slam dunk.
Dude,
I ain't never wanted that so bad.
oh,
My God.
that's amazing.
Whatever you're shooting, that's a long shot.
I know, dude.
And you drilled him.
Oh, he went down like a hammer. That was awesome, dude. Let's go check him out.
For more information,
Watched him make his way down the fence line, alert putt on the call, and it stopped him instantly. He stuck his old head up like that, and Tom was already on him, and man, it just couldn't have worked out any better.
He got in the water.
He sure did.
He's gonna look like a rat. He's such, holy smokes. I'll get him out of here first.
Dang, look at the hooks.
He's just a wet rat right now.
Yeah, he is.
But check that out, dude.
Those aren't nubs.
That might be the best spurs I've killed on the Osceola. Yeah, you can see it better on yours. I mean, check that out. That's just crazy. Dude, when I saw that head, I would...
Man, Tom,
You drug this one out to the last minute, didn't you?
Bottom of the ninth. Oh, Gina will be happy now. She's not left back alone waiting on us anymore.
I'm definitely happy to hear that. But of course, I am just so happy for Tom that he was able to get a bird down in the final stretch.
That's a great bird, and he looks like a wet rat.
He looks like a wet rat, but he fell right in the mud hole.
I know, when he hit the deck and he started flopping and I saw water going up, I was like,
hey, if you're gonna shoot one in the swamps of Florida, he's gonna get wet.
I know, right, right?
I better text him back. I said, what shot?
Oh.
So later that afternoon, we're hanging out and we hear a shot off in the distance. And we think it comes from the direction that Tom and Ron are sitting. So I text Ron and ask him, hey, did you guys shoot? And he texts me back, no, what shot? So at this point, I'm just completely confused.
Addicted out.
Oh, I know, man. Oh, I'm so happy.
You were.
Ooh, man, nice. Good job, bud.
What's up, buddy?
Got it done, man. I was so happy. We heard like a faint, tiny shot, and then he texts you, and he's like, y'all shoot? And you're like, no. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
I asked him, I was like, you want me to say yes or no? And he's like, say no.
Right. And then he looked back over and he's like, he did. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What? I was totally lost. Like,
Right.
He's like, he shot one. I'm like, thank God.
Because you knew where we were, dude. We're back in that hole back there.
I know. We found it. Was it the spot, dude?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did it.
Tom got it done in the home stretch, and it's always such a relief when that happens. And after a great night of celebrating the victory, we were on the road the next day, headed back to Tampa to pick up Gina for a little bow fishing.
The whole week turkey hunting, Tom kept talking about how you were gonna take him out and the bow fishing duel.
Yes, I brought my knife.
So that's what I figured. He's like, she's gonna cut my Achilles tendon, toss me in the water.
I mean, it's pretty simple. Just don't shoot more fish than me.
I think she'd at least make sure he was wearing a life jacket before she did that.
So we pulled in to meet with Captain Ike to give us a little rundown.
All right, Cap, so what's the plan and what can we shoot?
We're gonna head over to the shallow water flats and we're gonna be in search of stuff like sheepshead. We're gonna look for flounder, some mullet. If we get on some southern rays, we can shoot those too. We're gonna see a lot of snook and a lot of redfish. Those are the fish we can't shoot at.
No snooks, no reds.
No.
All right, well, let's get to putt-putting.
Let's do it.
Tom, you concerned about your life tonight?
I am quite fearful for my life this evening. I have this little mad, angry woman that's hyper-competitive, and I'm afraid if I shoot the first fish that I might get to go swimming. So that'll be fun. That'll be a good time. But
He said the water warmed up.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, at least maybe I won't catch hypothermia. Maybe.
No, it's teamwork.
Oh, we're going to do teamwork.
You find the fish and I shoot them.
There we go. That sounds about right.
Well, that seems like a better deal than before.
It takes a couple of shots for Gina and Tom to get into the swing of things, but you could tell they were getting the rust knocked off.
Hurry up, hurry up.
I'm trying.
Don't stop. It's right there.
Oh, sweet.
That's a huge one. Oh, right over him.
Oh,
He's gone.
he just took off.
That was a big sheephead. That was a big sheephead.
Yeah, he was really big.
And finally, one of them gets lucky.
Right there.
He's right there.
Oh, okay, I got him. He's a long ways on that.
Yeah.
Oh, you got him, Tom.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
real. No, just real. Just real.
Get him up, Tom. Get him up, Tom. Get him in the boat.
Lift him up.
Nice.
Woo! Finally. Woo! That'd be my first bow hunting sheepshead.
Oh, nice. That's your first bow fishing sheepshead, baby.
I wish they'd come out and get broadside
Hey, we got
on
you
me.
your first one gigging.
I know, right?
First one.
I shoot the tasty stuff.
The tasty stuff.
Breaking it. Yeah.
I still don't know that I'm very good at it, but
The old obsession.
Well, you hit him.
all right.
So Tom ends up getting his first sheepshead ever with a bow. And really, that was kind of the highlight of the night. Because after that, the water got murkier and murkier, and we just weren't seeing any more fish. And eventually, it was time to head back in.
Well, this is about it right here. If we didn't see any sheephead throughout this whole thing, we're probably not gonna see any.
But I'm just glad that Tom at least got his first sheepshead ever with a bow. You know, we always have a great time when the Browning guys come down. You know, obviously Brent didn't make it this year, but we still had a good time with Tom. We got him on his, you know, probably best Osceola ever as far as spurs. You know, we got to come back to the house and go do a little bow fishing. We got to hang out at the house, cook out, you know, hang outside on the dock, the boat, get a little fun in the sun, on the beach. So, you know, all in all, we really enjoy giving these guys that Florida experience. Another great trip. Obviously, we wish Brent was here, but we had a blast, and we are definitely looking forward to getting them both back down here next year.